the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts One Piece leader of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo. And despite hearing that this figure has its shortcomings, I'm still pretty excited for it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, getting into that sexy packaging. Now for the box, it's pretty consistent with what we've been getting from the One Piece line. You've got the map-like theme that kind of surrounds the entire left side of the box. You got the front window where you can see the figure as well as the accessories. On the right side, you've got the figure and quite a few face plates on him. I was going to say poses, but nah, you really see the faces more so. At the bottom on the front, it does say Tamashii Nation's Bandai, Sabo, Revolutionary Army Chief of Staff. Right there, we've got an image of him, nothing much on the top. And then of course on the back, you got a few poses you get the figure into, some of the accessories, and then a bunch of stuff I can't read because I imported this figure. Now anyway, without wasting any time, let's get straight to the figure. Now straight out of the packaging, I will keep it real with y'all, man. I do like this figure. I'm probably going to like it more than most people just because I'm a big One Piece fan. Now, I'm not going to say I'm a fan of the character Sabo simply because I don't really remember much about him, man. I remember the backstory. They thought that he died. Then he came back in Dressrosa. I can't remember what his role is. But sometime after Dressrosa, I kind of fell off just because I got busy with life and I never really had time to catch back up. That being said, I still really love One Piece and it has a special place in my heart. And so does this character, man. All of these characters do because I've spent so much time with them. And when it comes to this figure in particular, I'm not even familiar with this costume. Obviously, it's after the time skip, but I know it's after Dressrosa because he was wearing something completely different in that arc. So I'm assuming this is going to be based on his newest attire in the anime, which is fine by me. I do like this more than his Dressrosa look. But let me adjust my camera a bit. I don't like this angle. There we go. That's a little bit better. But yeah, man, I do dig the overall look of this figure. Now, just like any One Piece figure, it has some flaws. And of course, we're going to get into those as we take a closer look at it. And then some of it we'll discuss once we get to the articulation. So for the overall look of this figure and the aesthetics, man, I gotta say, Tamashii Nation's knocked it out, man. This looks to me like a miniature variable action heroes. And I don't know if you guys know, I used to collect those and I always praised those figures. Now, that being said, they didn't have the same shortcomings as Tamashii Nations. They were actually much better. But of course, they did have a little bit more room to work with since those figures were bigger in scale. But Tamashii Nations has been putting out way more products than them, meaning that they've had time to improve on their flaws as well, which is why I think this figure shouldn't have some of the issues that it has. And I'm going to go ahead and discuss two of those now. So when it comes to this jacket, first of all, the jacket itself is a problem because why are we still using this, man? We've gotten figures with soft goods. Why are we just not sticking to soft goods when we're getting characters that have these jackets that are going to make them back heavy? Because look, this middle piece doesn't even lift up. The flaps on the arms lift up, but the middle piece doesn't. So like, what's the point in that? I don't get it at all. And then the next one, single jointed knees. What are we doing here, Tamashii Nation? Single jointed knees?
I beg your pardon?
Now, I've heard there's also some issues when it comes to the articulation at the arms, but I'll get to that when I get to it. But the main thing that pisses me off about this figure is this jacket, man. And I hate it because it looks good. The fact that it's a soft plastic, it does kind of make it look like it flows with the figure more than soft goods would. And I know there are people who just don't like soft goods, but when it comes to characters and figures like this, where this plastic is going to make them back heavy, it just has to be done, man. Like it just does. There's really no way around it unless they want to sculpt this at like a very, very soft plastic to where it doesn't hinder the articulation whatsoever. But it doesn't seem like that's something they're capable of doing, because this definitely is on the harder plastic side. And again, man, the fact that the middle piece doesn't do anything. That kind of ticks me off, but whatever. It is what it is. Getting that out of the way and moving on to the actual figure, I think he looks fine without the jacket on his back. But I mean, it's kind of a signature thing when it comes to One Piece characters, especially when you're talking about admirals, generals, things like that. They wear these. So if we start getting characters like Akainu and all of that, man, I'm gonna be concerned. Characters that have very skinny lower bodies but then really built upper bodies, they're just gonna fall over, man. So Tamashii Nations has really got to get better about that. And I didn't want to turn this video into a rant, so I'm gonna go back to this figure. Overall, this thing looks good, man. The sleeves look good. The vest looks very clean. I love the little now I can't think of what this is called. I was going to say a tie. This little collar piece. We'll just call it a collar piece. The face sculpt looks really good, man. Everything about this figure is clean. That's one thing that I will give it. It's very, very, very clean. All the way down to the legs, the sculpted wrinkles, the boots, the brown gloves. It is a clean looking figure. And that's probably my favorite thing about it. Like, overall looks, this is probably my favorite One Piece figure. And I say overall looks just because it's just the looks. There's a lot of problems well, that some have already been addressed, but you guys know what I mean, man. When it comes to this line, it's just, there's some very frustrating things, man. And we're going to go ahead and get into that as we move into the articulation. Now, when it comes to the height on this guy, he is pretty tall to the top of his head. He's about 6¼ inches. So I'm assuming he's probably going to be about the same height as Ace. Of course, I'm going to do a ton of One Piece size comparisons at the end of the video, so be looking forward to that. He looks up about that much, which I think is fine, especially since the hair is touching the back of the collar. There's really no way around that. He doesn't really look down much. It just kind of looks like he's still looking forward, so that kind of sucks. He does get really good tilt and turn, so he can be very expressive. This collar piece right here is on I think a ball peg. Let's see. Oh, it's just a little hinge joint that kind of pegs in there, so that's cool. At least you don't ever have to worry about that breaking. I feel like that's a good decision, and it does kind of click when you put it in there too, so you know it's not going to fall off. So I dig that. When it comes to the arms, they go up and out about that much, so that's really good, man. I do dig that. Now this is where we get into our problems. So this guy does not have a butterfly joint, and it's so weird. The arms come in about that much. Now, I have heard issues of people saying that their arms just kind of pop out. I don't have that issue so far, but there are no butterfly joints. It's like a weird hinge joint in there, and all of this is like connected to it where it just rotates. So yeah, but you can bring them in that much, so I think that's a decent amount. That butterfly joint definitely would have took it over the top though, so that would have been cool to have. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that work about that much, so that is fine. Would have been cool to get a swivel right there where the wrist and the sleeve meet, but it's cool. He does have his hands on a ball peg, and you can move those around freely. No issues there whatsoever. When it comes to the torso, he leans back about that much, which I think is decent. Leans forward about that much, even more out of the waist, so that's cool. Really, really good there. He does kick forward about that much, kick out all the way, so that's cool as well. Kick back all the way, even better. Love when the figures can kick back. Does have a thigh swivel. The single jointed knee is probably my biggest issue with this figure, other than the jacket, because that sucks. I mean, it poses well enough, but it would be great to be able to get his leg to go all the way back. He does have a swivel right here at the boot, so that's cool. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, and then he does have toe hinge. So for the most part, the articulation actually isn't bad. A lot of people were telling me that he came apart whenever you were posing him around. I don't think I have that issue. So I'm cool with this. I can actually make that work. And this is why you shouldn't go into reviews expecting the worst, because I kind of came into this articulation segment expecting to be disappointed, and I'm happy with this. And again, always, always, always buy figures so you can form your own opinion. Even if you're watching my video right now and thinking, oh, Ace says this sucks, I shouldn't buy it, you might like what I dislike. I am perfectly fine with this articulation. Not this though. Now, when it comes to accessories, he actually comes with quite a few, not nearly as many as Ace, but keep in mind that this figure is about $30 cheaper, even though I still think there's something that should have been included, which I'll discuss in just a second. First off, he comes right out of the packaging with a neutral head sculpt and a pair of fist hands. He then comes with 3 additional faceplates, one kind of smiling faceplate with his eyes closed, one confident facial expression with his mouth slightly open. Then he does also come with this yelling, angry fire fist expression, which I do dig. He does also come with an extra expression for Luffy. This is him crying. Now, if I remember correctly, this happened in Dressrosa when Luffy was happy to see Sabo was alive and well. So why they included it with this figure, I don't know, but I mean, it is still cool to have. Now, either way, when it comes to hands, he comes with a pair of relaxed hands. He comes with a pair of hands for gripping onto his hat. He comes with a pair of dragon claw hands that are sculpted very, very well. All the hands are sculpted well. I love the wrinkles in the gloves and everything. And then he does come with a hand for holding on to this pipe that he will beat the crap out of you with, which this is cool that they included. This feels very fragile, so be careful with it. He does come with his top hat and a pair of goggles. Now, one thing about the pipe I kind of want to show off is that if you look on the back of the jacket, you can see that you actually can plug that in there, and so I'll show that off in the next segment. But yeah, plenty of accessories. I do wish that he came with at least 1 or 2 fire effects, or maybe even the fire fruit or the flame fruit. It would have been cool to have that accessory, but they didn't throw it in, so that's pretty much all you get. Several hands, faceplates, things of that nature, but no effects. So I tried to do this on camera several times, but it wasn't working. So I'm just going to show you guys. Basically, to put the pipe on, all you do is, let me zoom out a little bit. All you do is you take it apart. So you take this top piece off right here, and then you slide it between the loop, and then there you go. Simple as that. So in case anyone was wondering, yes, that does come apart. And in case you were wondering, Ace's fire accessories do work really well with Sabo. As you can see, we've got him posed up here looking nice. His hands peg into the flame effects, or you can just attach them around the wrist and make him look super duper dope. I'm really honestly digging this a lot. All right, y'all, moving on to some size comparisons. Here he is standing next to the Wano Straw Hats. We've got him standing next to the SH Figuarts Wano Luffy, the SH Figuarts Wano Sanji, and then, of course, the SH Figuarts Wano Zoro. Next up, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Gear 5 Luffy, which needs to be completely redone. We've also got him standing next to the SH Figuarts Trafalgar Law and the SH Figuarts Eustace Kid. And then lastly, here he is standing next to the early Straw Hats. We've got him standing next to the SH Figuarts Romance Dawn Luffy, the SH Figuarts Romance Dawn Nami, and the best figure in the line so far, the SH Figuarts Porcus D Ace. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, man. I told y'all I was going to try to be fair with this review, and so I came into it, honestly, not with an open mind, man. I came into this review expecting to be negative just because I had heard so many bad things on this figure, and like I said earlier, some of that stuff doesn't even bother me, man. Single jointed knees are a bit of a bummer. I definitely don't like the cape. I do wish that he came with more accessories, but I still found a lot of joy in this action figure, man. I had tons of fun posing this guy around. That being said, though, the issues are always something that have to be pointed out, and I tried to make sure that I did that effectively in this review. Tamashii, if you're watching, please stop with these capes, bro. We, as One Piece collectors, we're not feeling these, yo. Like, they're people that want to pose their figures around, these just aren't it. And then on top of that, if you're someone who just likes to stand them on your shelf, if you don't use the actual flight stands, which these figures don't come with, eventually it's just going to wear out the legs, man. It's going to make these figures so back heavy, and then over time they're not going to be able to hold a pose at all. You're going to have to lean the figures forward, and then you're going to have to find that balance between the front and back in order for them to even stand. So please stop with these. I know Blackbeard is supposed to be getting a soft goods coat, But the thing about it with Tamashii Nations, they're so back and forth, man. You'll get characters that'll have soft good trench coats. Then you'll get characters that go right back to the hard plastic months and months later after we've gotten ones where we're like, oh, we're finally getting soft goods. It needs to be consistent with these. And this line is probably the most inconsistent line Tamashii Nations has been working on. It's just every time we think they're getting better, they take a step back. And again, I really did enjoy this figure, I did enjoy this figure, but it has problems, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's killing me, man. I really want these to be good, and they've shown that they can be great. So why are we not getting great products? Like, Tamashii, come on now. Like, y'all need to have a sit-down meeting on this. Whatever y'all need to do, make it happen, man. People are buying these. People love One Piece. We lost the line before. We're not trying to lose it again because people start to lose faith in these products. Anyway, sorry, another rant. I wasn't trying to do that. But overall, I hope that you guys understand where I was coming from. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, as that always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.